Welcome to the Fit and Field podcast, your go-to source for all things health and nutrition. Here we explore topics and simplify ideas that can help you maximize your training, your nutrition, and optimize your health. I'm your host, Nikki Fit, a certified fitness expert, a functional nutrition coach, and a nationally ranked physique competitor. And I have helped hundreds of men and women just like yourself balance their hormones, find freedom with food, and truly create the physique of their dreams. Join us each week as we cover a wide range of topics, such as the latest research in training and fat loss protocols, healing the body through gut health and functional nutrition. And each episode, I'll be providing you with actionable strategies to help you achieve your fitness and nutrition aspirations. So sit back and relax and get ready to expand your mind, challenge your assumptions, and discover something new. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fit and Fuel podcast. What is up, guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Fit and Fueled podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Fit, and I'm so glad you guys are tuning in today because today we are here to discuss something that's crucial just so we can thrive every day, and that is going to be how to optimize our workday through lifestyle choices. And the big overview caveat of the day, the main thing we're going to be talking about is sleep and sleep hygiene. So the topics we're going to discuss today are how a great workday starts the night before and setting up a nighttime routine and why that's important. We're also going to talk about a great work day and how that continues with a great morning routine. And I'm going to give you some tips to set yourself up for success during the day. And then lastly, we're going to close out talking about the midday lull and then really how to end our day well and then setting ourselves up for success for the next day to come. So really some actionable strategies are going to be given here today, guys. So I hope you enjoy this episode. So go ahead and diving in. A great workday truly starts, or a great day truly starts the night before. As humans, we are diurnals, which means that we are meant to sleep throughout the night. And poor sleep can have serious consequences on our health and our metabolism. So even if you are eating the perfect diet, if you're taking all your supplements, if you're getting adequate exercise, if you're managing your stress, even if you're doing all of these things and your sleep is disrupted or is poor, it pretty much cancels out all the good that you do in your waking hours. So there's three really important things that happen while we sleep. So first off, sleep is an anabolic process, and anabolic is growth, right? It's anabolic. You are growing. You are not catabolic. You are not breaking down. So, my husband always says and has said for many years that we don't build anything in the gym. And I think that's very true. We don't build anything in the gym. We actually break down in the gym, and we spend the rest of that time repairing, recovering, and a big part of that happens while we sleep. So sleep is the anabolic process. It is when human growth hormone, along with many other hormones, are released, and it is 100% involved with our recovery, our repairing of our organs, our muscle tissues, our bones. So super, super important. So one, sleep is an anabolic process. Number two, your immune system is also activated at night, and it brings pathogens into check and also helps restore the gut microbial balance. So much of your immune system comes from your gut. 80%, in fact, roughly, that's the number, comes from our gut. So if we do not have a healthy microbial balance, it is hard to have a healthy immune system. If you are someone who gets sick frequently, I would say that gut health is going to be your number one place to start to see where the weaknesses are to be able to support your immune function. Simple things to do is eating a really whole, clean diet, removing any toxic processed foods, limiting alcohol, limiting sugar. Also, to supporting your gut microbiome with L-glutamine or a probiotic, something like that would be a great place to start. And then number three, when it comes to the three important things that happen while we sleep, is our memory and learning are consolidated while we sleep. Sleep helps the brain commit new information to memory by making new neural connections. And once again, this happens while we sleep, and it also removes free radicals from our brain brain while we sleep. So we really have this whole recovery repair process that's going on. And if we are not allowing our body to get into these deep REM sleeps, these deep moments of true relaxation and healing and recovering, it's really hard to be an optimal human. So, sleep really does treat everything non specifically. A full 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night can enhance your mood, your mental clarity. It can boost the ability to control your emotions. It increases the ability for you to handle stress. It improves overall energy, digestive health, muscle recovery. We just talked about that, and athletic performance. And also, to immune system function improves when we get enough sleep, and also can help us manage and stabilize our blood sugar throughout the day. And that's really important when it comes to energy production, and especially any of those who are on a weight loss journey of any time. Really balancing your blood sugar and having stable blood glucose levels throughout the day is super important. Now, not everybody needs the same amount of sleep. Some people could absolutely thrive on 6 hours. Some people absolutely need 8, 9, 10. Everybody really is truly different. So it is important to try to find that sweet spot for yourself. And I think a good bedtime routine, time schedule wise, that's really optimal would be going to bed at 10 p.m. and then getting up sometime around 6 a.m. and then doing that every day of the week, not just Monday through Friday. I think that staying up a little bit later on the weekends is okay, but I think it's extremely, extremely important to also try to keep your regular sleep schedule for 7 days a week. So this is just having good sleep hygiene. And I know some of you have probably heard about sleep hygiene before. And if you haven't, we're going to talk about it. So sleep hygiene, super important. And let's talk about what that means and how to create good sleep hygiene patterns. So having good sleep hygiene means, first off, sticking to a sleep schedule. I just talked about that. That would be going to bed somewhere around 10 o'clock and get bed 6 a.m. That's just kind of like middle of the road average. Now, depending on when you have to be at work or kids have to be at school, or, what time you get off of work, that could shift a little bit. But you see that we're really trying to get to these 8 hours of sleep. That's kind of the sweet spot we're trying to get to. Another part of good sleep hygiene is also making your bedroom a sanctuary. Your bedroom should be for sleep and should be for intimacy. It shouldn't be just for hanging out, kicking it, eating food in bed, watching TV. That's what your living room is for. That's what your couch is for. So make your bedroom your sanctuary. It should be clutter free. It should not have lots of blue light. So not lots of TV watching in bed. A little bit's okay, but I would say try to minimize that the best you can. So making it a technology free zone and really trying to just shut down technology about 2 hours to 90 minutes before we go to bed is really, really key to getting a good night's sleep. Also, too, sleeping in complete darkness. Room darkening shades are fantastic. Now, I have some in my bedroom. They are not the most beautiful, curtains. They look cute. They're okay, but it's for a purpose, right? So you absolutely can find some really cute ones and pretty ones out on the market, but it's just darkening your room and even your kids' room. That's really important, however you can, but dark shades, darkening shades, blackout curtains. You've heard them called so many different things, I'm sure, in time. But getting some of those, putting those up. Hello, Amazon, Walmart, Target, everywhere sells them. Go ahead and check that out. Also, do covering the lights of your electronics. Once again, this is just a list of all the sleep hygiene things you can do. So covering your electronics. So I'm sure that you probably have some kind of device in your room that if you turn your lights off, there's that little bitty red light. So electrical tape or just putting some form of a Post-it note or something over that light can help you absolutely sleep. Also, too, using cooling sheets and lightweight blankets. We want to have a really cool room somewhere below 70 degrees. So making it light, airy, comfortable. Sleep in loose fitting clothing or naked. I love sleeping naked, just total transparency. I think it's just really relaxing and not confining, right? So just being as natural and as light and as cool as you can when you sleep. And then also, too, having regular meal times helps to set our natural circadian rhythm, right? So eating at the same time roughly each day, and then also eating in a pattern that's similar each day, whether that be a 2 to 3 hour window between meals, a 3 to 4 hour window between meals. It really, once again, is going to depend on your lifestyle and what you are capable of doing. But being in a rhythm with sleep, being in rhythm with meals, absolutely can help you get a better quality night's sleep. And then last on the list of sleep hygiene. I know this doesn't really seem like sleep hygiene, but including physical activity in your day and earlier in your day if possible. I would absolutely avoid lengthy cardio or intense bouts of exercise later in the evening that can actually increase your cortisol levels, making it harder to fall asleep. So if you're going to work out earlier in the day. And then also too, getting outside to do some of your workouts. I think walking is so underrated. When I work with clients, I always tell them, I need you to go outside. I need you to get 8, 10,000, 5,000 steps, whatever it is that they need to do. But getting outside, getting some steps and just walking and getting that sunlight in your eyes earlier in the day can absolutely help you have a good sleep rhythm. And, Dr. Huberman talks about that a lot. Getting sun exposure earlier in the day for 10 to 15 minutes, I think is just super, super key. Now, a great work day is going to continue with a great morning routine. So we talked a little bit about sleep hygiene and how to kind of set yourself up for success at night and getting your bedroom prepared for sleep and getting you prepared for sleep. But a great work day continues with a great morning routine. And this can help improve your stress, your anxiety, and also can help increase your productivity. I'm a big planner, and a lot of times it just takes a few moments at night the day before to sit down, either write out a list or gather your thoughts or whatever you need to do to set yourself up for success for the next day. Now, benefits of doing this and having more control over your morning routine can help you feel more in control of your life, more in control of your schedule. Being able to better prioritize your time also can help take stress off of you. And then also engaging in purposeful activities and tasks rather than reacting to demands of the day. So if we are prepared and we know what we have to do, we can engage in our task with a purpose. We know what needs to be done. We know it needs to be done, what hierarchy they need to be done in. So if you have 5 things that are on your task list, I would say write them down and then rewrite them in order of importance. Like what needs to be knocked out first? What are the most important things that need to be done? And then go about accomplishing and going after your task that way. Also, too, I do feel like having more of a set goal for the morning can reinforce that you're capable and you're in control and you are centered and ready to navigate your day. This will give you the feeling of being more productive and a better sense of completion, self-efficacy, and also a pride in your accomplishments. When you have that list and you've rewritten it and you've written down the hierarchy of the order of things that need to be done and the most importance, and you knock those out, and you get to check that box, you get to cross that line off that list, it will leave you feeling so much more accomplished. And just those tiny little wins day in and day out make a huge difference in your overall mental health and well-being and being able for you to actually get stuff done, one, but then also two, rest at the end of the night knowing that you've accomplished everything you set out to do for the day. And then also two, it will make it easier to have and adopt more healthy habits. Because if you're structured with the things you need to do, and let's say you have the task of, I need to get to bed on time, or maybe I need to drink more water, or whatever it is that you need to do, the task you set ahead of yourself each day. Once you start knocking these out and making them part of who you are, then it frees up space for you to work on the next thing you need to work on. In my opinion, in coaching athletes and coaching everyday clients, it's setting yourself up for success, finding the small wins, and then also to finding the things you need to work on and tackling them one task at a time, ingraining them in who you are. So therefore, once it is ingrained, you just drink your water every day because that's who you are and that's what you do. And now it's automatic. And now you've freed up more mental capacity to take on other tasks. So what would make up, so all those were benefits of having a morning routine. Those are benefits of having a morning routine. Now, what would make up a good morning routine? And it's going to sound like a broken record here, guys, but it goes back to your sleep schedule. Number one would be having a sleep schedule, waking up and falling asleep at a set time every day, and really trying to stick to that. It's just going to help regulate your internal clock, aka your circadian rhythm, and will make for better quality sleep. Another good part of a morning routine is going to be getting that natural sunlight in your face, in your eyes, first thing in the day. Increased sun exposure, and hopefully, like I said, as soon as you wake up or close to when you wake up, also helps set that circadian rhythm, helping to ensure better quality sleep at night. Also, too, I would say a good morning routine comes down to a plan. I just touched on that a moment ago, but also it goes a step further than that in planning out how much time you're going to need so you don't feel rushed. Now, this can be done by working backwards from your first appointment. So, if you have an appointment or you need to be in the office by 9 and you want to work out in the morning and you also need to take a shower, you need to get kids to school, you need to cook breakfast, you need to pack lunches. Hopefully, you do some of that the night before. We'll talk about that in a minute. But working backwards from whatever your first appointment is, and then really scheduling out like how much time do I need, right? It's not like, oh, I need an hour to work out. You got to take more into consideration than that. You got to take a shower. Ladies, we got to do our hair. We got to do our makeup. We got to get the kids to school. We got to do this. We got to do that. Getting ready for the call that we have, whatever it might be. So I would say plan how much time you're going to need in the morning to get your morning task done before your day starts, and really trying to stick to that and honoring that. Another good part of a morning routine, guys, would also be trying not to grab your phone first thing in the morning and doom scroll. Doom scroll is something we're super all guilty of. I am extremely guilty of it as well. And that's just that mindless scrolling on social media. I'm sure you've been there where you get sucked down a rabbit hole and you start looking at things and it takes you to the next thing. And then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been on my phone for a half hour. And in that 30 minutes, I could have gotten so much stuff done. But if not, I was just sitting here. So avoid passively looking at your phone and scrolling through social media. It will absolutely detract from your productivity in the morning. Another good thing to think about in the morning is having some time for self-reflection, setting that into your morning schedule. And that could be anything from meditating to praying to journaling to writing positive affirmations or a gratitude journal. I love a gratitude journal. And just spending some time in silence to reflect on your spiritual aspect, your thoughts, your mental health. Where are you in your day? How are you feeling? Just checking in with yourself. I think that's very, very important. But having that time of solitude, and it doesn't have to be this 30-45 minute drawn out thing in the morning. If you have the time and you like to study the Bible, or you like to meditate, or you like to journal, whatever it is, and you want to do it for that long, please, by all means do. But it doesn't have to be. It can start small. It could be just grabbing a journal and writing down 3 things you're grateful for every morning and just making that a habit. Just that tiny, tiny little action can really help you throughout your day, set yourself up for success, get you grounded, get you centered, and really have an awesome start to your day. I think another big part of a great morning routine is going to be by drinking a glass of water in the morning when you wake up. And it could be really whatever you need. It could be 10 ounces, 12 ounces. I've heard 30 ounces, right? So it's really whatever you can do. But I would say try to get at least 12 ounces of water in your system. This is just going to aid in flushing toxins and aid in your digestive system throughout the day. Also, too, when we do drink our coffee, I'm a big coffee drinker. I always tell people I'm not going to mess with your coffee because I'm like such a coffee snob. I love it. I like hashtag coffee is life. It's like super important to me. So I would say drink your coffee. That's totally fine in the morning, but just avoid adding lots of sugar to your coffee, right? Stevia is great. Monk food is great if you need some kind of sweetener. And really, guys, watch out for these pre-made creamers. You have to look at the sugar content on these products. Just in general, when you go to pick up a product, one of the first things you should do is flip over that bottle or package or whatever it is, check out the sugar content. What's in it? Then I would look at the ingredients. What's in it? If you can't pronounce some of the stuff that's in it, it's probably not good for you. So I would say put that product back. I was talking to a client the other day and she had a great question. She said, what is a good amount of sugar like a product should have? Well, there is no good amount, but what I told her is if you're looking at a product and a product has more than 6 grams of sugar, then it's really not a good product, right? So natural sugar is a little bit different when it comes to fruits and things like that. But I'm talking about like creamers or, like I said, foods, bars, nutritional bars, protein shakes, looking at that sugar content. If it has more than 6 grams of sugar, it is not a good product. And I highly recommend finding a different one to use. Also, too, avoiding the typical SAD diet. The SAD diet is an acronym for the Standard American Diet. So when most people think breakfast foods, they think cereals, bagels, muffins, donuts. You don't want to do that to yourself. You're only going to start yourself on a blood sugar roller coaster and having unbalanced blood sugar levels throughout the day. When we start our day with a really big pop of sugar, our blood sugar goes up, our body does its job, it releases insulin to bring it back down, but higher it goes up, quicker it goes up, more insulin is released, and the further it brings it back down. And you start these big waves of up and down, up and down. with your blood sugar throughout the day, and it's kind of hard to restabilize. So what I would say is start your day with a high protein meal, something that has some natural carbs in it, something that's low glycemic index. I love Ezekiel bread. I love gluten-free oatmeal if you're going to have some kind of carb throughout the day, something that's a little bit slower digesting. Vegetables are also great in the morning with your protein, so you get some fiber in there. And then also too, some healthy fat. So fat will slow down the digestion of food. So if you have this higher protein, high fiber, high to moderate fat diet, or excuse me, meal in the morning, it's going to help stabilize your blood sugar throughout the day, giving you steady energy throughout the day, and then just set yourself up for success. And also too, it helps prevent cravings, because when our blood sugar goes up really fast and then insulin brings it down really quick, sometimes it comes down so quick and our blood sugar drops lower than our baseline, if we will, it can make us hungry again. A great example of that is Thanksgiving dinner, right? Thanksgiving dinner, you eat this huge meal, blood sugar goes up, and you're stuffed. But then within an hour later, you're like, I could eat again. You're not really hungry, but there's a signal being sent to your brain like, hey, blood sugar has dropped. It's time to eat again. So a lot of times you'll notice that when you have desserts and you have sugary, high carb foods, that very soon after you're hungry again, or you have this sensation of, I could eat again, right? And that is your blood sugar. You should not have that feeling after you eat. You should be satisfied after you eat. And that's why protein, fiber, think vegetables, some slow digesting carbohydrates, like I said, something that's very earthy, very oatmeal, grainy, gluten-free. Obviously, I'm a big gluten-free fan. You guys know that. But that will just help stabilize your blood sugar and give you that steady release of energy throughout the day and help you avoid that mid-morning crash. And then last on this list of really good ways to set up a morning routine is going to start the day with some kind of exercise. And that could be anything from a quick yoga flow to a 10-minute walk outside. If you have some kind of cardio equipment at your house, you could hop on that for 10, 15 minutes. Or if you have time, go to the gym, right? I'm a big fan of training in the morning if possible, because as we all start our day and we go through our day, first off, we are all crazy busy. The world we live in today is fast paced. And if you are, in the world of business or entrepreneurship, it's like when we get ready to start our day, we are go, 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 go. And so I always tell people it's like, get it done in the morning, right? Before the emails start, before the calls start, before your brain starts really like racing of all the things that you need to do. Well, you have a list, hopefully, of all the things you need to do. So that shouldn't give you any stress because we've already talked about that. But if you can just knock it out in the morning, then you're done. You've set yourself up for success. You've also helped stabilize blood sugar by working out in the morning, and you have energized your whole entire day. So if you are not an AM worker outer, I highly recommend you try to do something in the morning. Do it for a month. Do it for 60 days and see how you feel. I guarantee you, you are going to feel more accomplished. You're going to have more energy throughout the day. And there's something to be said at the end of the day when you're done with work, getting to go home or getting ready to just spend time with your kids and family and not have this monkey on your back of, I got to work out today. I got to work out today. And then the end of the day gets here and you didn't get to work out. So knock it out in the morning. All right, guys. So we have talked about how to set yourself up for some good sleep hygiene and prepare your body for sleep and what makes up a good night's sleep. We talked about having a sleep schedule, and we just got done talking about how a good morning routine is critical to have an optimal productive day, right? So all of these go together. Now, the big thing that I think people struggle with a lot is this midday lull, that 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock witching hour where maybe you get hungry or maybe you get tired or maybe you just feel that energy just start to drain. Well, it can be combated. And let's talk about a little bit of the ways that we can make that happen. Now, one of the main reasons we feel tired and have a hard time focusing in the afternoon is going to come down to sleep patterns. So our circadian rhythm tries to keep the body in balance. So as our alertness decreases mid-afternoon, it once again is coming down to that circadian rhythm, and it normally happens around 12 hours after we were in our deepest sleep. So for instance, your deepest sleep usually happens somewhere around 2 and 3 a.m. So 12 hours later, boom, there you go. It's that it's that 2 to 3 p.m. time in the afternoon. It leaves us feeling tired. We have that energy slump. And what you don't want to do is reach for caffeine, because here's the thing about caffeine in the afternoon. So I usually tell people by like 12 o'clock, you should be having your last caffeinated beverage for the day. So caffeine, depending on the person, because some people metabolize caffeine differently, it can last in your system for 6 to 9 hours. All right, so let's play this out. Let's say it lasts 9 hours in your system and you have caffeine at 3 p.m. Fast forward 9 hours. That's 12 p.m. at night. That's 2 hours past when you should be resting and sleeping, right? So that caffeine, that alertness is still in your system. So I would say really try to limit caffeine after 12, right? I am a big fan of coffee, like I said earlier, and I drink coffee throughout the day. But after 12 o'clock, I switch to decaf. And like I said, I think coffee is great. I think it's high in antioxidants. I think it's also great for anybody that is trying to lose weight and diet and things like that, because it's something that you can drink that's warm, that's satisfying. You can add some stevia or monk fruit in there. It's a little bit of sweetness and just can kind of give you that little like uplift during the day, but without the caffeine. All right. So really limiting caffeine after 12 p.m. is going to be huge in combating that slump. Now let's continue on down this road. So if you are experiencing this slump in the afternoon, like I said, it's mainly going to be due to the lack of balance in your sleep and your circadian rhythm. So if, for instance, you consume alcohol at night, nightly or daily, and let's say, you did it the night before and then you realize the next day you're so tired, it is because even the smallest amount of alcohol can disrupt our sleep and our ability to get into our deeper sleep. So avoiding alcohol at night is definitely huge when it comes to avoiding that midday slump. Also, staying up late and working and not abiding to your sleep schedule will 100% affect you midday. And this is another big thing. Unregulated stress and anxiety worsens throughout the day, right? So if we are having any kind of psychological, emotional, relationship, whatever stress, it is very taxing on our system, right? It is not physical stress per se, but this mental, emotional anxiety, this stress can absolutely drain us of our energy. It affects our hormones, it affects our cortisol, it can affect our DHEA balance to cortisol ratio. So it's very, very important that we try to eliminate stress, mental, emotional stress when we can. And I would say a good way to do that is making a list and kind of just writing stuff down. I'm a big fan of making lists and writing stuff down and putting stuff down on paper and really trying to see like where my weaknesses are, what is going on at this point in time, where are my emotions, where's my mental health, right? Checking in with that is super, super huge, and really trying to regulate that stress, whether it be removing certain things or things we do or people, or, just consuming certain things that could be stressful, aka alcohol, right? So all of that is going to affect you midday. So if you notice that you have this extra stress, this baggage, this weight, I would say try to get it in check, make a list. If you need help, reach out to someone, talk to a therapist. I'm a huge fan of therapy. I have multiple people that I work with, and there's check-ins a lot of times. Sometimes I need them to work through things. Sometimes I need them to just, check in and make sure that I'm on the right path, or I just need somebody to have a brain dump to that's not a significant other, just to be able to talk through my emotions. I think that that's very, very huge. So talk therapy is huge. I'm not saying go to a psychiatrist and get prescription medicine prescribed to you because of your stress. I'm not saying that at all, but talk therapy, going to a counselor, leaning on someone else to help you unpack that mental health, stress, anxiety, whatever you have going on is also huge. Breathing techniques. There's so much information online that you can find about mindful breathing and meditation that also helps in those moments of stress. And doing that in the morning, like I said, in the morning routine also can help with releasing and lowering some of that stress and anxiety later in the day. So learning to do breath work, learning to meditate. And then also I would move on to say that spending too much time on the computer without regular breaks or going back to back to back with meetings can also really drain you of your energy. So if you're someone who has calls throughout the day, like I spend a good bit of my day on calls with clients, and I try not to back them up one to another, to another, to another. And that's not to say that I won't take a 90-minute block of time and have clients all back to back. I will. But then after about 90 minutes of that, I need a break. I need to stand up. I need to stretch my legs. I need to go for a walk. I need to do something for me just to reset. And so even if you are in a work environment and you're in an office or whatever it might be, trying to schedule regular breaks so you're not just drinking from a fire hydrant all day, like right, you just don't want this like constant bombardment of appointment. It's like set 10 to 15-minute breaks for yourself. Use that as the time to get up and go to the bathroom, go for a walk, go outside for 10 or 15 minutes, eat a meal. A lot of people that I work with, they say they don't have time to eat during the day, and time is one of those things where we all have the time. It's how we choose to organize our time and what we choose to make the most important. So it does not take more than 15 minutes to eat a meal. So if you've prepared your food ahead of time and you have food with you and you're at work and you're, going from call to call or meeting to meeting, it's like schedule a 15-minute break for yourself and sit down away from the computer or turn around and don't face the computer, whatever it is, and eat your meal, or leave your office and go sit in a common area or go sit outside. Take time, schedule regular breaks throughout your day, and don't just go back to back to back to back, because if you do, you're going to look up and all of a sudden your energy is going to boom, it's just going to drop because you've just been going so hard all day long. You need to give yourself these moments to breathe throughout your day. Also, too, hydration is super key when it comes to balanced blood sugar and energy levels. So staying hydrated throughout the day. I always tell people to gamify drinking water. So depending on the client I'm working with, I will usually recommend they either drink 80 ounces of water a day, or I will say drink half your body weight in ounces of water per day. And I do not recommend trying to drink out of little plastic water bottles. I would say get a larger metal water bottle or something, a reusable water bottle, and get it to be at least 40 ounces. And then okay, I need to drink 2 of these per day to get my adequate water. And then you can gamify it. Okay, so by 11 o'clock, I need to have drinking. By 11 o'clock, I need to have drank, over half of this, or I need to by 11 o'clock have drank at least one full 40 ounce of water, and then by 2 o'clock I need to be halfway through the next one. By 5 o'clock, you see what I'm saying? So it's like gamify it. And also too, I've even at one point when I really started on my healthy way of life journey, and also when I got really busy at one point, I've had to kind of rein in some of my work, because at one point I was doing the whole just go, and I was having that same energy crash and just that being just so tired midday. And I would actually have breaks in my Outlook calendar where I would say like drink water, or reminders that would come up, drink water, or eat your meal, or stand up. And that way I just knew, okay, it's scheduled. It would pop up on my computer. I need to drink some water. Cool. And I could do it. So however you can gamify it or set yourself up for success there, to be also huge. And then also too, it's always going to come back to nutrition when it comes to energy. And so really trying to avoid highly processed sugary foods. They can 100% affect your blood sugar and that roller coaster. So if you're eating really highly processed, sugary, high carbohydrate foods, your blood sugar is just going to spike and your body's just going to bring it down really, really quick. And it's going to make you tired and it's going to make you sleepy. So I think moral of the story here is getting adequate sleep, avoiding alcohol, avoiding processed sugary foods, managing your stress, making sure you stay hydrated, making sure that you're taking regular breaks throughout the day. And then also too, I'm going to say it again, I said it earlier in the podcast, eating balanced meals that balance your blood sugar, high protein, high fiber, a little bit of healthy fat. Yes, carbs have a place in the diet, but you just always want to pair them with protein, fat, and fiber. So protein, chicken, I'm going to make it really simple, fiber, broccoli, healthy fat, avocado. If you want some carbohydrates, you're going to have them earlier in your day. Think sweet potatoes. Potatoes are great. Rice, quinoa, different things like that. I don't typically have people eat a lot of beans. Beans are high in lectins and can be heavy and hard to break down, especially for anybody that's having any kind of GI issues. I would avoid beans, but there are all sorts of good clean carbohydrates that you can have. You just want to make sure that you're pairing them with protein, fiber, and healthy fat. So combating, like I said, the energy lulls, going and taking regular breaks, going for a walk, sitting outside. Another cool thing you could do is listening to upbeat music, right? Listening to upbeat music has been proven to have a cognitive benefit and improve cognitive performance. So, listening to something upbeat, taking a moment, like whatever your favorite song is, put it on, eat your food, have a moment, forget about work for a few, and just really enjoy that time to try to re-energize yourself. Also, to snacking wisely, it comes back to eating balanced meals, right? If you're going to snack and don't have time for a meal, I would lean towards things like a piece of fruit, some nuts, hard-boiled eggs, even like a protein bar. Like some of my favorites, I'll go ahead and just list them out. Some of my favorite protein bars that I recommend to people are going to be Quest bars, No Cal bars, One bars. There's also a really amazing brand called Legendary Pastries, and they make protein Pop Tarts. The ingredients are actually pretty good. So I have been following them on social media and have been munching on those from time to time. So it's definitely a sweet treat. It makes you feel like you're eating a Pop Tart. So if you remember, I don't know, I'm an 80s, 90s baby. So we ate a lot of Pop Tarts and toaster strudels and heck, we ate a lot of like cereal and BS too, but you know what I'm saying, right? So it's kind of nostalgic in a way. But so those are some of my favorite high protein processed packaged snacks. So snacking wisely can help combat those energy lulls, avoiding caffeine because it can last for 6 to 9 hours in your system. You don't want to have the caffeine in your system at night when you're trying to sleep. So avoiding that, and then drink water instead. Drink water instead and get moving. So all of that is going to help combat that energy drop in the middle of the day. Now, what about just wrapping it all up, right? So we talked about sleep at night and sleep hygiene and getting ready to go to sleep and what we need to do for that. We've talked about how to start your day and be productive and have a plan and really set yourself up for success there. We talked about that midday lull. And really, I think the big takeaway of there is taking breaks. Make sure you're eating properly, proper balanced meals that balance your blood sugar properly, snacking well, and getting moving, spending a little bit of time outside, really invigorating yourself and avoiding that caffeine at night. Now, when you get home, this is the last part of this, guys. When we get home, preparing for the night, or excuse me, preparing for the day ahead is going to be huge when it comes to this. So I say when you get home from work and you're getting ready for the day ahead, obviously we want to do all the things on our sleep hygiene schedule that we talked about, and, making sure we're in the dark room, cool clothes, making our bedroom our sanctuary, removing electronics from our bedrooms, but then also to setting yourself up for success for the next morning. So what would that look like? That would be getting any food and clothes ready for the next day. If you've got kiddos, you're making their lunch at night ahead. You should be meal prepping your food and having your food ready to go the night before. So I want to touch on meal prep really quick. So I had a client the other day and she was like, it's taking me forever to meal prep all my meals. And I was like, well, tell me about how you're doing it. What's your structure? How are you doing this? And she says, well, I'm weighing everything out. I'm portioning everything out. I'm putting it in containers for the week. And it just takes me forever because I'm labeling everything and it's taking up so much room in my fridge. And I said, okay, so what I want you to do is scratch that. I want you to cook all your food in bulk like you would, but then store it in really large containers. So for instance, if you roast a couple bags of broccoli, you make some sweet potatoes, you make whatever protein you want, chicken, beef, make it and put it in big containers. So then the night before, get out your 3 or 4 containers, however many you need for the day, and just put your meals together. Put your meals together while you're finishing dinner or whatever it is. So having your food ready to go for the next day, having your kids or spouse's food ready to go for the next day is going to save you from having to do it in the morning. So get that done at night. Also, to clothes. If you're going to the gym, lay your clothes out. If you got kids going to school, lay their clothes out. If you have to go to the gym, take your work clothes with you because you're going to shower at the gym and then you're going to go to work. Like, have all of that, your laptop, your food, notes for the day, whatever it is, have yourself set up the night before for your morning so you can just execute your day. So you can just go for it. Also, too, another really great way to wind down at night is drinking herbal teas, reading a book, spending some time in silence after you've got the kids to bed, or, once you've kind of hung out with your partner. Really, instead of, watching 5 episodes of a show on Netflix, maybe watch 1 episode and then read a book or, get ready for the night before. Another thing, too, that I think is really important that I used to do when I was really trying to get my sleep schedule dialed in, where there was a miss, was that I was trying to definitely turn devices off at night and wind down, whether reading a book or a magazine or, reading even a book on your phone, right? I know it's still blue lights, but still reading is a little bit better than just watching TV and having that stimulus. But I would get ready for bed. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to bed at 10. And then about 9:45, I would get up. And then I realized I needed to do the coffee. I needed to turn the dishwasher on. I needed to move the laundry. So if you do these things at night, I was in a miss because I would wait till 9:45, then do all these things. It would be 10:30 before I actually got in bed. Now it's 11 o'clock before I go to sleep. So plan for that, right? I guess is my point. It's like if you need to make coffee, set it up for the night before. You got to make your kids food, your food. You need to start the dishwasher, do laundry, whatever needs to be done before you go to bed. Make sure you're doing it before you sit down to wind down throughout the night. So go ahead and just knock that out. Like I said, another great way to relax is taking a bath or a warm shower before bed. Epsom salt baths are great for my athletes out there. Anybody that's training, really helps put that magnesium back in your system and helps those muscles relax. So that's a great way. And then also too, taking a warm bath or shower will elevate your body temperature. And then when you get out, your body temperature will come back down. We want our body temperature to be low and cool while we sleep. So elevate it before you go to bed, and then go get in your cool room, go get in your cool sheets, have a fan in your room. I've got a fan in my ceiling. I also have a small fan that I also use as well. I use a white noise machine to cancel out any just sounds because I'm in a condo. So, setting up yourself for success that way. Also, too, I said, reading a book, that's a big thing. Listening to guided meditation, that's awesome. There's so much great stuff out there when it comes to apps or even on YouTube. And then if sleep is really something that bothers you and it's something that you have a really hard time and you struggle with falling asleep, there are some natural things that you could take to help you sleep. So melatonin is great. L-theanine is great. Magnesium. There's also a product called Relora. Those are great supplements to take. I'll list some of those in the show notes. You can get most of those through Thorne, which is the company that I absolutely love. So I would say check those out for sure. So I think a big takeaway here, guys, is sleep matters. And if you want to have an optimal day, an optimal productive lifestyle, you've got to get your sleep in check. So sleep highly affects our alertness, our productivity, and our energy throughout the day. It also will affect our relationships. If we don't have good sleep, we're crabby, we're short with our partners or our kids. So really working on building a sleep schedule for yourself, going to bed, same time, waking up, same time, every day, Monday through Sunday. Notice I didn't say Monday through Friday. Really dialing that in and then setting up your sleep for success. Like I said, darkening the room, cooling the room, taking a warm shower before bed, really, really, really taking as much distraction out as you can, preparing your body for rest as you can. And the big thing that I talked about, I hope that you took away from this podcast, was just the pre-planning that needs to be done in life. So versus reacting to our day, right? We want to plan so we can attack our day, right? I don't want to react. I want to be actively engaged and know what I need to do each day versus reacting to stuff as it happens. So have a plan with your food, have a plan with your daily task, have a plan with the kids and the family, what needs to be done in the grocery store and this and that and that. Really sit down and write list, prioritize whatever you need to do, put it in your calendar. So I would say if you could work on those things, that will greatly, greatly help optimize your sleep, optimize your hormones, and optimize your health. All right, guys. So I hope you guys found this episode helpful. And if you did, I would ask that you please subscribe to this podcast. And also, if you found it helpful, share it with family and friends. Share it with anybody who you may think could benefit from learning and using some of this information. And a lot of times, guys, this is stuff that we already know to do. We already know to do it, but sometimes hearing it again is very, very helpful. I'll be completely transparent with you guys. Doing these podcasts has been very helpful for me because I'm like, I know all these things. I coach my clients and all these things, but just having to really sit down and discuss them with you further just helps ingrain it in me. So my point is listen to these podcasts, go back and listen to them again, take some notes, and repetition is key. If we can hear things once and then we hear it again, we might hear it in a different way the second time that resonates. So definitely, I highly recommend sharing this, listening to it again, taking some notes. And like I said, if you enjoyed it, follow, subscribe, leave a rating, leave a comment, right? I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to hear some topics that you want to learn about. I am an open book, so I love sharing the information that I have gathered over the past couple of decades with you guys. So if there's anything in particular that you want to learn about or dive into more deeply, please do not hesitate to reach out. Now, you can find me on social media. I'm at Nikki Fit_fitness. So once again, Instagram, Nikki, Nikki, fit, FIT_fitness. Follow me. I'll follow you back. You can always message me there. You can also hit up my website at www.nikkifitfitness.com. And then also too, I will put a link in the show notes to book a free 30-minute consultation. So if anybody ever has questions or wants to take a deep dive into their health, their physical fitness, emotional and mental stress, whatever it is, I am here to help. I am here to serve, and I would be honored to hop on a call with you and discuss. All right, guys. So once again, my name is Nikki Fit. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate your time. I will catch you guys on the flip side.